hate the texture of your hair? Who taught you to hate the color of your skin to such extent that you bleach to get like the white man? Who taught you to hate the shape of your nose and the shape of your lips? Who taught you to hate yourself from the top of your head to the soles of your feet? Who taught you to hate your own kind? Who taught you to hate the race that you belong to?
Welcome again to Street Talk. My name is Ahmad Shakaraki. And on Street Talk, we deal with political, social, and economics. Here in Michigan, the U.S., and abroad. Now joining me tonight,
Patrick Maynard.
All right, we've got a lot of different things to talk about, but I just want to mention that 100 and some years ago, Frederick Douglass put the 55th Regiment together in Massachusetts, and starting at that time was when blacks was allowed to go to war, and it was a thing that a lot of people who wasn't black said that they couldn't fight, couldn't do this and couldn't do that, but they found out that, hey, blacks fought in war and fought and died in wars just like everybody else. All right, you were saying, Patrick.
Where we gonna start?
Yeah.
We have so many things that we want to talk about. It's a kind of real hard. Yeah. But just for a little starter, let's start with Michigan.
Okay.
The Attorney General has indicated she is going to contest the governor's race. She wants to become the governor.
Mm-hmm.
What you got to on that? What do you think about that?
Well, I think she should, I think she would and she could be. And the thing is that we here in Michigan, you can measure them. Mm-hmm. We had Snyder.
Mm-hmm.
We know he was a mess and everything, but still the people in Michigan seem like they like people who don't do anything but mess up.
We had one before that, the heavyset guy.
What was his name?
It's gone from me. Don't think about him for purpose.
But anyway, the Republican governors we've had in this state have been really pitiful, And we got the one who was over this thing in Flint, trying to get his name cleared.
Mm.
I mean, here we have people in Flint who right today can't drink their water, because they're afraid to drink it.
But didn't the governor then, Snyder, had a cup of water supposedly from the tap?
No.
But could you see what's in this cup? That's the kind of cup he was drinking
right,
from.
Yeah.
You couldn't see what's in it.
Yeah.
Why didn't he take a regular glass? So I say
because
it's good.
Yeah. I mean, he changed the way the water was coming in, and then all these years later, he's trying to claim, trying to get himself, I did the right thing and everything. And the thing was that people were working there, carried their water, knew the water was bad. People were there having to drink the water, no water at all.
Give your little babies.
Yeah. Yes.
Make them a meal with the dirty water.
Yeah. Yes.
And we talk about third world countries.
Yeah. Third world countries.
And what I see going on now has brought us not to third world country level, but to fifth world.
Yeah. Yes.
We gone lower than the third world.
Yeah.
And that's what's going on.
Yeah. And not only here in Michigan, we've got a lot of states where the people are still don't have decent water, don't have decent houses, and
basic necessity.
Right.
Basic.
And right now, Mississippi and West Virginia are the worst states in the U.S. on everything.
Boy.
People in West Virginia, people living in shacks look like nobody should live there.
With all that in mind, Benson, what do you think, what your long shot on her right now, do you think she is going to be as good as the current governor? Better than? What are you looking at? What are you going to tell the people?
I think she'll be the same type of governor as we have now. In time will tell whether she's better than the governor we have now.
Gretchen.
It'll be time before we could tell that. But I'll say it kind of lightly, but any Democrat governor of this state would be better than some right winger.
Than any Republican.
Yeah, some right winger. I mean, really, because the last, all we have to do is look at the last 4 governors we've had in this state. How ridiculous the two Republicans been. Have been a mess. I mean, just really been a mess.
Okay.
And now, I guess they in Florida, someplace. And taking the money and everything, and went to Florida. To live well.
Well, at least we giving a shout out for you, Gretchen. We hope things go well for you, and we would encourage you to start working now. Don't wait till 2 months before election. Start getting around now and let people know what you're offering, so that they get a long look at you and determine if you're the woman for them.
Yeah, and the one thing, man, is that Michigan is, I hate to say it, but it's a really Republican state. I mean, it is. When you look at most of the governors are here, and then I remember, what was his name, the first governor here years ago. His son ran for president.
Romney.
Yeah, and so Michigan is a Republican state, and that's simply what they love.
I noticed they vote for the president, and they vote locally now. We got the House and Senate going strong, and the governor. And I think they have done a good thing. But what we have to do now, Ahmad, is to just encourage them to take a close look at what you have, take a close look at what is being offered by the Attorney General who wants to become governor. Look at it closely. Don't just make a hurried decision. Look at things closely.
Well, I guess they must have made a hurried decision about voting for Trump. I mean, really.
Talking about voting for Trump, I don't know if it was a hurried decision. Personally, I think the Democrats did not do their due diligence in order to win the election. They had too much on the table to show that Biden's administration accomplished, but nothing was being said. And then even the Republicans who voted against programs went back home and boasting they bought this money, got so much millions of dollars for the state, even though they voted against it.
Yes.
And the Democrats didn't even get up and say, hey, hold on, don't forget, you voted against it. They did nothing. They are their own worst enemy at times.
And most times, But you were saying about Trump.
Well, as for Trump, he is now the president.
and to me, he'll always be the rapist. The rapist.
But you can't change that.
No,
you cannot change the fact that he's a convicted felon.
Yeah.
It's on records. He was trying to get that thrown out, so nothing will be there to trail him. But it's still there.
Yeah.
It's not only that. we see so many other things about him that is so unfavorable for anyone who wants to be a leader. But people voted for him.
Oh, yeah.
I said before, the devil has his friends.
Well, you know, and one of the things is that I heard a lot of people, he gonna bring jobs and everything, but
He was to do that last time.
yeah, but
Really?
see, but Biden last I heard he had 15 million jobs. You know,
He had more jobs than anybody else.
yeah, and you know, it's only been a week or so since Trump took over, but he never said anything about jobs or anything like that. Never.
1 week.
You know.
1 week ago.
Yeah.
He was inaugurated as president.
Yeah.
Let's look at what he's been doing.
Yeah.
He signed a whole host of documents. They were presidential. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
He has the authority as president.
Mm-hmm.
But look at some of the things he did.
Mm-hmm.
You were born in America. If any of your parents were not born here, then you will no longer be an American citizen.
Yeah. That's
The
what
14th Amendment is against him.
yeah.
Period.
Yeah. But he's trying to change that.
He cannot change the Constitution like that. We know there is a procedure for that. And he's way far from that.
Well,
Okay.
Well, he says they're going to change that or somehow because the other thing is that we've been for 200 years. It's been voting every 4 years, since when 17.
So he wants to stop voting?
Yeah, he
Remember
yeah,
last election coming up, he said this would be the last time you vote.
Yeah, you vote then, and you won't have to worry about it no more. So he's going to try to change the thing on people voting. So hey, you know, so you might have to.
But not everybody's sitting down, Ahmad. Right now, I think it's like 18 attorneys general who have filed a case against his decision on this same matter.
Well, yeah, but I'm just saying what he's trying to do, you know.
And he'll try more.
You know.
You wanna see the first thing he tried? Naming people for secretariats. The defense secretary, the Homeland Security, and Attorney General and others. Look at the quality. Look at the kinds of people who have nothing to commend them to that job.
But see, the thing is, he wants to get people in these different things, and in these different jobs where they have to
Why you
agree.
mean just yes, women?
Yeah, they want.
Rubber stamp?
Yeah, that's what he.
Is that good enough for this country?
No, it's bad.
The leader of the free world?
Hey.
Is that good enough?
But see, for him, hey, you know, because he thinks he's God, you know.
Well,
and you
they
got
call him so.
and you
the
got
Orange God.
and you got a lot of people out here, millions out here, who really believe he is. You know, somebody that God sent. You know, a whole bunch
well,
of these
I
religious
heard
people.
somebody saying that God placed Trump here for this moment.
Yeah.
Well, Trump been selling Bibles. Maybe he needs to read it.
Well, hey,
We know the Bible says he sets up, God sets up, and he takes down. So, Donald, if God allowed you to go up, don't forget he could take you down.
but see,
And it's going to be a big fall.
the thing is that we've got people in this country who really believe that he's somebody that is here, you know, because they believe. Now this is a lot of Christian people, you know. I mean, hey, it's like I have nothing against Christian people, but hey, you know, with this kind of idea and everything, they running around, you know, praising Trump. To me, I don't get it. I just don't get it. And then maybe you can explain it to me. But you was.
You know, Ahmad, some things it's not. You just can't explain them. You know, there's no explanation for some things.
Hey, you know.
And all right,
Yeah, let's talk about something.
let's pull up something
Yeah.
else. Donald Trump. He said from day one, we're gonna deport illegal aliens, those criminal
Yeah, yeah.
rapists,
Yeah,
murderers,
yeah, yeah.
and all the sorts
Yeah,
that you
yeah,
call them.
yeah.
But the amazing thing is, he doesn't even have a proper plan. They say things, yeah, he wrote up something, and, well, his people wrote it up, and he signed it, had big ceremony, and, oh, we're going to pick them up. It's going to begin now. Yes. He sent some down to Colombia, and Colombia rejected them. You can't come in here. I'm going to tell you something a lot of people here may not know. Many, many years ago, back in the 60s, in the Virgin Islands, U.S. Virgin Islands, there was an incident, and of course it was believed it was the people who came in.
Okay.
As down there they would say, island people.
Okay.
So they were the problems. And the governor, a Republican, was deporting people. A woman and I think 2 kids. The kids were born in the Virgin Islands,
Okay.
so they are American citizens, but they were deported with the mother. They got to the island where she's from, and the local government decided, these 2 kids don't belong here, put them back on the plane. Maybe because they're going to take up a lot of people who are not necessarily illegal aliens, who are naturally born American citizens, because they don't have the time and resources to check properly before they deport. And somebody else might be saying, look, all right, your people going right back. They can't stay here.
Well, but see, the thing is, right now, we know how much time we got.
10.
We know right now that if you're born here in the U.S., you're a U.S. citizen. That's the way it's been, you know.
But Trump wants to stop that.
Yes. So Trump is saying, if you were born here and your people wasn't, and they are not citizen, you going with them. You know. Now you're going to send them to some place they know nothing about. You know, a lot of them can't speak the language.
They've never been there.
Right.
But
Never-
what's worse now, and you see, this is going to happen. Trump, because the president of Colombia decided, of course, we know later he decided, okay, I'll send my personal presidential plane to take the thing. But you got to treat these people with respect. That was it. Now, Trump fired back. And amongst the things he decided, 1, 25% tariff on all goods coming into the U.S. from Colombia. And 1 week later, it's going to increase to 50%. Don't say nothing yet. Secondly, there's going to be a travel ban. Visa revocations for all Colombian government officials, including not just Colombian, but their allies and their supporters. Okay? So, number 4, they're going to now enhance custom and border officials when it comes to inspection of your baggage when you come in. Anybody coming from Colombia, they're going to, really do the works on you. Let's look the first one. Tariff. 25%. 1 week later, 50%. Who's going to pay the bill?
The people here in the U.S. will pay the bill.
Of course, Donald telling people the country going to pay it, their country.
No. Just like
Man, look, when I was in elementary school, not high school, elementary school, grade school,
Yeah.
you knew about tariff.
Yeah. Yeah, you know.
We knew it. We did it in school.
Yeah, yes, you know.
So don't come with, let him come with his, not even half truth. Just rum-dum, rubbish.
Mm-hmm.
And they're coming on more and more. By the way, the new Secretary of State, Marco Rubio, directed the cancellation of all visa appointments for Colombians.
No, where's he from?
Hey, where is Marco Rubio from? Well, I guess he might say he was born here, but where are his roots? If Trump gonna push through and violate the 14th Amendment, Marco Rubio has to go back to Cuba.
Yeah, yeah.
Donald Trump has to go. But the trouble is he don't know where, because his people were not welcome back in Germany.
Yeah, yes, you know. So, I mean...
Well, Putin could take him in.
Yeah.
Like he took Assad.
Yeah, but see, it's just a thing, man. Well, you know, before he got to be president, he said that if you didn't agree with him, you know, he didn't like anybody who didn't agree with him.
The problem
don't
is
agree with him.
Donald Trump is such a simpleton, such a simple mind.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Yeah.
And I don't care who tell me he does this and that and that and that. He's a simpleton.
Yeah, yeah.
If you don't agree with me, then we got to do something about you.
Yeah.
Since when?
Yeah. But that's his thought. And a million of people go along with that.
Because they're simpletons too.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Birds of a feather flock together.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that is why, let's say, this guy the other day talking about, 77 million people voted for him, and this, that. So what?
Yeah, you know.
He still didn't even get 50%, but we have this great mandate.
Yeah.
Fools!
Yeah.
You can't have no big mandate with less than 50% of the people.
Right.
Period.
No, he didn't get 50%. That's what irritates me, you know.
But it was higher than the competitor.
Yeah.
So he becomes...
Yeah.
And you can't change that.
Yeah, you know.
Unfortunately, people don't understand. It's not just voting for the Republican Party. You are voting for an individual who is supposedly a part of the Republican Party. But what does this man offer you? And I'm going to tell you this. That one little thing with Colombia this week, he done up the 50% thing.
Yeah.
Look what's going to happen with the cost of your food.
Yeah.
You're throwing out people?
Yeah.
Okay. Who been working in the fields?
Yeah.
Oh, that's black jobs.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you and me, poor me, going to have to go and pick cotton and pick strawberries and all the rest of it so that he could sit there and eat.
Yeah. Well, see, the thing is, man, is that's what irritates me about a lot of minorities like blacks and Hispanics voted for this clown, you know. They voted for him, you know. And
I go back, Ahmad, I hear you, I agree with you, but at the same time I say the Democrats and the Democratic supporters, they are to blame, not the Republicans, not the Hispanics. A lot of people who used to be Democrats and voted for Democrat did not vote for Democrat this time. And if they had done their due diligence, it would have been different.
well, like you're saying, if they had read the paper sometime, and listened to the news, the radio sometime, you know, they would have known better. But
Unfortunately.
they were running around here, you know, talking about, Trump, he gonna create some more jobs. He gonna create more jobs.
He was to create a whole lot of jobs in his first term. Where are they?
Has the man? He haven't even talked about jobs.
How could he?
You know, he have so far, and you know, I'm not the type to listen to him, you know, because every time I see him, I change channel.
We got a couple minutes. Let me
Okay.
just jump onto something
Okay,
here.
go ahead.
Joe Biden. In Pennsylvania, the Republicans are pushing to revoke they named Joe Biden from this strip, this street, this highway, whatever, because the primary purpose, because he went on a spree, pardon spree, pardoning all these people, and worse yet, to pardon his own family members. And the person went on to say that by doing that, he is saying, in essence, there must have been something wrong. Well, how many people Donald Trump pardoned?
More than 1,500.
No. The difference between Biden pardoning his folks, Biden didn't plan to do that. He was strictly advised to, and they were on him for a while to get him to do it. Donald Trump has already declared he is going to do this, that, the other to them.
Yeah.
So everybody who had any voice in it advised him to protect them.
He right now, you know, he's taking away the doctors.
Yeah, for them, yes.
Yeah, you know.
But before we go there, just talking about these pardons, what did Trump do? Proud Boys?
Oh yeah, yeah. And
people walk into the Capitol, defecate in the Capitol.
Oh yeah.
Threatening the lives of representatives.
Yeah.
Come on.
But
people admitted, pled guilty in court.
Yeah. And was sent to prison.
Sentenced.
Yeah.
And Donald Trump said they were treated so it was a sham, it was an unfair. Well, the only sham and unfairness I see as far as the courts go is that he was allowed to walk and talk and not being locked up.
Yeah.
And on top of that, those scoundrels in the Supreme Court went along and gave him, he has immunity. Yeah. Immunity from what?
Yeah.
Maybe from himself.
Yeah.
Well, Joe Biden had immunity too because he was the president at the time that law came into effect.
You know, and one of the things...
he should have used it.
Yeah.
He should have used his immunity.
And that's...
All right, we don't have time.
That's what angers me, you know. It's like, in his last week or so, Biden just didn't do the things like he should have done, you know, because what he did, and it'll forever be the thing that a lot of people will use now on Miss Harris.
All right, let her use it. But the point is, he was a good man. He is a good man.
Yeah.
And what he did had validity. What Trump did, there's no validity for it.
Well,
and like you say, he'll forever be the rapist.
Yeah, you know.
And all the rest of it.
Yeah, you know. And for me, that's all I'll ever call him, a rapist, and because that's what he is, a rapist, you know. My name is Ahmad Shakaraki, and we'll catch him down the street for more street talk. Peace.
Don't let anybody make you think that God chose America as his divine messianic force to be a sort of policeman of the whole world. God has a way of standing before the nations with judgment, and it seems that I can hear God saying to America, you are too arrogant. If you don't change your ways, I will rise up and break the backbone of your power, and I'll place it in the hands of a nation that doesn't even know my name. Be still and know that I'm God.